Karen is like, did you get the Tonight Show? And I didn't even hear her. She told me that after. I don't squeal. You tell me the best news of my entire life, I'll be like, okay, thank you. That's exciting. Like that's really
the
like,
most excited you get.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Like
wow.
I can't. I think maybe that's a trauma in some way response.
Oh, good.
Hang on. It's
I think
the
you got
Tonight
the
Show.
Tonight Show calling me right now. Michael Cox. What?
But what I do remember is that even at least someone holds that even saying a nice thing about someone is bad because that can invite another person to dissent from your view that this person is great. It's so Talmudic and wonderful.
Wild.
It is.
We're not so strict on the Yenta pod.
Yeah, how do you feel about that?
I mean, my Jewish background is feeling bad about the things I'm not doing. And that's like how I come to Judaism, really, because, and I'm sorry if I don't remember if we did or didn't talk about this, but like,
was so long.
I grew up less religious than the school that I was sent to. Mm-hmm. And so this idea of like your education is everything we're doing wrong at home is so familiar to me that like the idea of there are rules and sometimes you adhere to them and sometimes you don't, like that's a kind of familiar territory for me, like from when I was 6. Yeah. And like sometimes when I say that, people are like, oh, that must have been so hard. And the thing is, it wasn't. Like it was sometimes a little confusing, but I do think it informed my point of view more generally in the world, which is to say that the idea that like these people are different from those people and there isn't like only one way to be is like something that I think I was so open to because I had to be as a child. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily. But anyway, so with respect to specifically like saying things about people, because I came into this Jewish education about laws, like halacha, with this lens of like, well, some things, like they're telling us we don't go out on Shabbos, but we do. And they're telling us we don't eat pepperoni, but we do. Mm-hmm. But then they're telling us we shouldn't talk about people. And honestly, but they do.
Yeah. They do. But we all do.
Right. We all do.
And the Torah does. And the Torah does.
The Torah's like, this person who was the son
bitch.
of that person went to the altar, sacrificed a cow. Yeah. But anyway, so, but I feel like, I think because I had that lens about laws, I really internalized like, what do I think about this as a rule? And I think like, I feel like I have a reputation for being nice, and that's like something that I'm aware of. Yeah. And I think part of it is because I try not to engage in gossip.
Oh, good.
That's so great. So who do you hate?
Yeah. I mean, that's not for this pod.
Sure. But I think because like, you know, at least like I remember 9th grade, I was such an outcast, like really, truly, like didn't talk to anyone. I wasn't even an outcast enough to be a nerd. Like I remember at that time in my life, I would watch like, you know, movies about high school or school where there's like the nerds. And I'm like, even they won't talk to me in 9th grade, which was true.
At the Jewish school?
The nerds won't talk to you.
What was going on?
Well, so I went to high school in New York City and I grew up in the suburbs. And the thing with that is like of like modern Jewish Orthodox day schools, there are more elementary schools than there are high schools. And so a lot of time, because sometimes people don't go through 12th grade all the way through. And I don't know if this is or isn't true at the time. It just was a thing at the time. And so there were like, you know, certain, bless you, elementary school to middle schools, and they would feed into a high school class at a Jewish day school that had a high school that would double its size for 9th grade. And so basically like where I went to school, which was Ramaz, bless you.
Shout out.
It seems like you sneezed because I said Ramaz. Like in the same way that I said bless you because you sneezed because I said
No. It was it was a bit of like a judgmental anti-Semitic sneeze.
Of course.
Yeah.
And that's how I took it.
Yeah.
And by the way, so was my bless you. But anyway, so I went to this school that had like 50 of the kids in my class were city kids. Okay.
Right.
And then 50 were suburbs kids. So suburbs kids, you're already starting at
Loser.
a debt.
Lame.
Yeah.
Right. Because you're like a boring suburbs
Poor.
kid.
You've never done cocaine on the A train
Right,
on your way to
that's the
school.
thing. You're right.
Yeah.
And
That's exactly it.
Ramaz is Orthodox, but it's like not. The
Right.
kids that go are not religious, but the
Well,
school is religious.
Yeah, so
kind
it definitely has that element
Yeah.
for it. And so in that sense, I felt maybe a little more comfortable because where I went for I was
Yeah.
gonna say undergrad, for elementary school was like in Englewood, New Jersey, and like everybody, it seemed, I mean, now like people have secrets and you sort of find out, you know, as I have, about this person was actually watching
course.
television on
Of
Friday night,
course.
and I never
Everyone
knew, and I
was.
felt alone and all that. But anyway, yeah, the vibe of it was everyone is religious except me. And then in Ramaz, that wasn't the case because they're city kids, they're more worldly, they do cocaine on the A train,
Absolutely.
etc. But either way, I was like stunned into effectively silence in 9th grade because even the friends that I knew from Mariah, my elementary school, were like, "Oh, you're weird here. We're not talking to you." And they were right because I was just, you know, because there's an element of my personality where I can just be that deer in headlights and I'm just like, everyone here is cooler than me. I don't even know what to do. I'm just going to like stare at people in a corner and they're going to think I'm weird. And that was kind of my experience of 9th grade.
And then when you got on the Tonight Show where you were like, fuck these
no,
losers.
because
Now
I had-
who's the loser?
Well, I had such a transformation within high school.
Yeah.
And there was a real arc for me in high school because basically, so I'm a self-help book. Like if there is a book, I will read it. And so I read this book between 9th and 10th grades called How to Flirt. And it's by this guy Marty Westerman, who's impossible to find, playing hard to get, his own game.
Oh my
But
God.
it's like out of print. It's like the size of a pamphlet. And it's not about flirting in the sense of, he defines hunting. He's like, if you're trying to like, basically, I mean, it was well before Me Too or consent discussions or anything like that. You know, before consent existed.
Sure.
Nobody cared before.
Right, when rape was the norm. And so, no, I'm obviously kidding, but God forbid.
She's not kidding.
She's a
Cancel her.
Yeah, now. No, God forbid. I mean, whatever. I don't know. I'm always looking for wood to knock. Like I'm a Jew, but I hedge my bets. It's like, is this wood? I've said this before on other podcasts. It's really just a thing that I carry around things to poo and spit about. And, you know, somebody told me taking a ponytail and like shaking. I'm like, should I grow my hair? Because
So you can wiggle.
exactly. So I'm
Wait,
just-
so flirt. What did you learn from How to
So
Flirt?
basically, okay, I mean, the salient things, I read it many years ago. I'm 45 years old. This was when I was 15. So like, I don't know that I'm going to remember everything, but I remember that it's like, if you're nervous to talk to person D, you should practice on A, B, and C.
Oh, I like that.
Right? So that's something.
That's good advice.
Yeah. And
I
like,
actually do that.
right. And some of it
Really?
could be
That
intuitive.
works in the industry.
Sure.
Like you want to talk to Taylor Tomlinson.
Okay.
You talk to
Me.
her. Yeah, exactly.
I would be like 0.
The gateway
Like-
to
Yeah.
Taylor
Like,
Tomlinson.
Like we've had
Yeah.
Milana Weintraub on the podcast, who's
Okay.
been on the Taylor Tomlinson show,
Okay,
which is now
got it.
canceled. You know,
Sure,
I mean,
yeah.
not that we're getting.
Yeah.
You know, it's a
She
concept.
was
the
canceled.
Taylor Tomlinson show got the After Midnight's
Yeah,
canceled.
yeah. No, it didn't get canceled. It got renewed, and then she decided not to do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Wow.
Anyway, welcome to Yenta, everybody. The podcast that's sometimes about comedy, sometimes about Judaism, and
Lashon
always
hara.
about gossip, lashon hara.
Yeah.
Today on the podcast, we have the amazing,
Thank you.
the huge, the
Thank
wonderful,
you.
just coming off her Tonight Show debut. She came straight from Jimmy Fallon
did.
to
Yeah.
Los
I did.
Angeles
I did.
for the podcast.
Right.
It's Liz Glazer,
Thank
everybody.
you. Thank you, Ray.
Huge.
Thank you, Antonia. I appreciate it.
Huge. And she
Yeah.
has her new special that
I
just
do.
came out.
Yeah. Watch the special. I like to just get the promo out
Yeah,
of the way.
do
I'll
it.
say it at the end, but it's called Do You Know Who I'm Not?
Yes.
It's on YouTube. It's really great. My friend and director, editor Josh Edelman and I did it. And
he's based in LA.
He is based
We should
in
have
LA.
him on.
Oh, yeah.
We should. Yeah.
He's great. And anyway, so that's Do You Know Who I'm Not? It's on my YouTube. Then you could look up my set on The Tonight Show, which is on their YouTube. And yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh my God.
You're
a huge guest.
You're huge. I feel like I've been aware of you for years now because
thank you.
You keep doing Jewish gigs at
Yep.
places that
is that
then
right?
I do a Jewish
amazing.
gig at.
Okay,
Or
great.
they're like, we had you last year and that was nice, but now we upgraded to Liz Glazer.
Where?
Someone just told me that and I can't remember where it was.
I wonder where.
Antonia is huge
Yes.
on the synagogue circuit.
Amazing.
And I wanted to hear your experience on the
Yes.
synagogue circuit.
I love it. Because I love Jews. I am one, and it's a world that I know. And I think, so what I love about, and it's something I've like not always loved, which I guess is like, the lesson of maturing and adulthood is the things that were our big secrets that we were ashamed of when we were younger, then become the ingredients to, the openness that allows us to find community or whatever. And so the fact that I went to Orthodox day school, but was less religious at home is a real asset, I think, because it has meant that I can go into Orthodox spaces and talk about stuff that they're like, wait, how does she know that? Like, I did a show. This was not for a shul, but it was like for like a Jewish group through Stand Up New York, the club in New York. And it was like in this side room at a hotel. And it was during the Omer, like the beginning of the Omer. And there was a very loud...
The Omer is are the days of counting between the second day of Passover and whatever, it doesn't matter.
Shavuot.
Shavuot, yeah.
About Shemitah, the harvest time.
I'm just adding more
Yes.
words for people who don't know. Like, it's like
if
so
you're
not helpful.
clear on it now, we've given
Do you
you
know
all
about
of the details.
Shavuot?
You don't know Shavuot. But in any event, so during the Omer, it's sort of a mourning time. And so people don't cut their hair. They don't listen to music. They don't like enjoy life, more than they don't already or whatever.
More suffering for the
more
Jews.
Suffering.
Yay.
We invited during the Omer. And so this was a show at the beginning of the Omer. And the reason that the beginning is a distinction is that like after Lag BaOmer, Lag being the 33rd day, sometimes people are more lax on the back half of the Omer, but not at the first. In any event, there was this very loud jazz band that could be heard as though it was in the same room as the show.
Oh, good.
And it was the kind of thing that no one prior to me, I was closing out the show, had said anything about, because I think there was this fear that you'd be kind of, dissing the room if you said something, because it was very obvious. Like it was like it was in the room, so loud. Okay. And so I got on stage and I was so excited for this, and it did land, and whatever. So it's a sort of story about like doing well, but I mean it just because it was so delightful to surprise this crowd by telling them, as I did, that the real reason for the show happening at all is an Omer loophole, because they were there to see the jazz band, but we have this comedy show as a ruse for Hashem, because I know that you're really here for the concert,
Of course.
on the beginning of the Omer.
And comedy is totally fine to do in the days of suffering.
Totally fine.
But music, too much joy. Comedy is another form of suffering.
But I guess, like, to your question, like, I enjoy those spaces where there are all kinds of, people, but like specifically we're talking about Jewish gigs, where there's like this range where it's like I could do Reconstructionist and Reform, and those are certainly, environments that I find myself in more often because I go to a Reform synagogue now, but I grew up going to a conservative synagogue. I've certainly done, and I'm comfortable in like those spaces. And then Orthodox too, because there is this kind of surprise element of like, I know the stuff, that I'm doing wrong.
Yeah.
And you're kind of an exotic treat for them.
Maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
You're like a Rachel Maddow looking person, and you're like
Sure.
quoting the
Right.
Talmud.
Who knows the
What
Omer?
is your experience of them?
Like they're just like the adoration you get
Sure.
at Jewish gigs is so amazing.
Okay.
It's so just like you feel like a celebrity when you walk
Okay.
into these synagogues.
Gotcha.
And then and and they always after the show want to come up to you and tell you if you got a little Torah wrong.
Oh,
so that's a nice gift to them. Okay. If you can get something wrong,
sure.
Then they get to tell you.
Like I made some. It just happens constantly. You make a joke about something. Oh, like it's conservative Jews don't. Conservative Jews are keeping the like head doily industry in business.
Okay, sure,
okay.
Sure.
I say that at one show, and this rabbi comes up to me, and she's like, "Okay, we wear headbands now."
Yeah, right, totally.
And she's like, "You should really change that." Yeah. And there's just always there's always a correction.
Even in conservative, they wear headbands.
She is a conservative rabbi and
interesting.
Insisted to me
Interesting.
that now conservative wears headbands. And then I, a month later, performed at a conservative shul and was there for their Shabbos service. And I was like, it's lace doilies.
Right, of course.
Staple to people's heads.
I'm like, that's not like out. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I enjoy them very much. I mean, just kind of getting to connect for me with my Jewish background specifically is a real treat for me, and yes, like they seem to enjoy it and that's great. But like, I think for me, and this is part of also the reason I got into comedy, like I always do it for the audience, but I don't know that like I would come away from anything being like, oh, it was really fun because they loved me. Like I just can't take that in that way. I respect you for being able to, but I'm just like, oh, it was so fun to like dip back in for the purpose of writing and performing with this like self of mine from like 1st through 12th grades. For me, that's like really exciting.
How do you change what you and do you change how you're performing for like mostly Jewish crowds, or like, I think because you're really, and we talk about this, like you could be a comic Jew for Jews, or a comic Jew for Goyim.
Sure.
And you're kind of both.
Yeah, I think it's that like in the same way, and honestly this may go back to Marty Westerman and How to Flirt,
everything goes back
kind of
to How to Flirt.
Well, but just I will answer the question, but just like to go back to that for a moment, another thing is like, so flirting isn't hunting. You can flirt with a baby, for example. Like you can flirt with somebody on customer service when you're on the phone. It's just a conversation that makes you feel good, makes the other participant or participants feel good about themselves. And like, that's flirting. And I was like, just scared of being disliked, of being shunned, of, everybody staring at me and making fun of me. And like, that was like my existence in 9th grade. And so what I did to come out of that was try to approach conversation as a way of really mutually exchanging love, like not a romantic kind of love, but like a sort of enjoyment of the moment that exists and the energy between me and 1-800 whatever, or my mother, or a baby, or somebody I was interviewing for a job with, or somebody I may have wanted to be in a romantic situation with. And it was sort of all flowed from the same principles. So I think that's relevant to your question too, Ray, because it's like, in a Jewish situation, like a very Jewish gig, a shul, people are there at shul, or in a corporate situation, you're there at work. Like in the same way that if I was having a conversation with someone in that context, there's these almost imperceptible ways that I shift my way,
like a code switch.
Yeah, maybe it's that, but like I feel like code switching has a sort of negative connotation because it means that it's this thing that we shouldn't be imposing on people to do, whereas I think maybe again because of how hard it was for me in 9th grade, and because of the work that I had to do to become sort of more normal in those situations, and I don't mean normal in a bad way either, I just mean more able to comport myself, that when I come into a shul, I'm like, oh, cool, I'm in this context. And so the side of myself that most relates to the side of themselves in the audience that is here in this room with a bima behind me, right? Or whatever, with Shabbos dinner on the table, that's a different side of myself than I'm with a bunch of lesbians or I'm with a general audience or whatever.
Which at this point in the reform world, it's like
the same.
Is there a difference?
I mean, I take your point and I understand the joke, and also I attend
and also your wife's a lesbian.
Well, yeah, and it's just like where she's
a lesbian.
My wife is a lesbian, but we're in the context of like, you know, there aren't that many other gay people where we are. Yeah, so.
What has the reform movement come to these days?
Well, I think it's that there are people who desire, you know, a kind of more open form of Judaism, but might be, you know, whatever. Like
disgusting,
they like
straight squares.
They could be, yeah, they like to be
your laugh, Liz.
near golf or whatever.
Near golf?
Yeah, I don't know. Like they just live different lives.
And how do you like reform? This is going to be a juicy question.
Yeah.
How do you compare your reform synagogue now to like an Orthodox space that you grew up in? What do you like? Mean, what do you hate about reform Judaism?
What do I hate?
No, I'm sorry.
I don't think there's really. I really think of it as like a lot of just differences, and so, I mean, I think that there's a focus on loving kindness that I think, you know, some Orthodox contexts could take some notes from.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
And they'd be like, and chesed, what's that?
Right. Yeah. Like they talk a lot about like tikkun olam and chesed. And we talked about chesed, not so much I remember tikkun olam, but I think that just could be stylistic as opposed to
it's like selective chesed.
Yeah.
It's totally. Like chesed when we think it's cool to do, or when we like you, when you're in our group, you get chesed. You know,
in some contexts it could be.
In the reform world?
No, in the Orthodox world.
Maybe.
Oh, I see.
I think it depends. I mean, I think that like something I've learned that I really enjoy, it's another reason I really enjoy doing Jewish shows, is that there's really not a monolith among the different sects of Judaism. And so one conservative shul can be totally different from another. Same thing with reform. And, you know, that's to your point about like, yes, I understand the joke about reform and gay sort of being synonymous. It isn't true to my specific experience, but I also get what you're saying, right?
Heard. Do you, as a theater person, I feel like we do this as like, you know, performer people and you as performer person.
Okay.
Like, do you sometimes go into shuls and just think about how you would make it all a better act?
Not really. I don't. I'm not a theater. I love theater, but that's not my background.
I guess I was sort of assuming because you're such a good performer that you think about how they're.
I mean, it's not that there's never a situation where. Because I also I sometimes coach acting. And so like, I definitely have had moments where I'm like listening to someone give a sermon or talk in some way where I'm like, you should really build that monologue, whatever. Like, but,
plant your feet.
Sure. But it happens that, I am very blessed with like great performances at where I go.
I hear you have a hot rabbi.
Wife. Yeah, my wife and you know, her other clergy people. Like, I mean, the cantor has an amazing, like you literally feel like you're at a Broadway show. So like I just don't have, again, that specific experience.
You don't have enough to critique.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, in that sense, like they're good. And they themselves, some of them are theater people. And so, you know, because there is this way that in the same way that like a lot of stand-ups could have, you know, theater backgrounds and aspirations, similarly, you know, cantors and rabbis are performers.
There is a huge crossover, the comic, comedian, rabbi.
Right.
And every rabbi wants to be a comic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and my wife, Karen, has written, I mean, I don't even remember at this point the punchlines that she's written. Because, I mean, I've said this before. I'm happy to always say it. Like, I don't think of myself as the best writer, the best joke writer, like, whatever. But
you're just the hottest.
No, I think that I have, in my better moments, really great energy. And I get told that a lot. And I'm like, yeah, I see what you're saying. And so some of my really good lines were not written by me. I'm not saying none of them, but like my wife writes really funny stuff, especially also because she's not like, the currency of her world is not jokes. Right. And so for her, she's all right brain, no prash, like all of that when thinking about funny things. So more often than not, she's saying something, I'm like, oh, I'm going to write that down. You know? Yeah.
Was she in the audience for the Tonight Show?
She sure was.
Was she so proud?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. Well, she's like, you know, sometimes
tell us about like the call when you got it.
Oh, so it's actually such a Jewish story also. Okay. So I was hosting a school dinner, like a Jewish day school dinner in a basement that doesn't have any reception. But I got on the Wi-Fi so I could get the text from my manager that was like, hey, can you call me when you're free? And it was at the beginning of this show. And I don't know if you've been in the context of some of these like dinners for these schools. I wouldn't say they're the most well-run or the most organized. I would say they're the kind of thing, which did happen, where I have to bring up the auctioneer 3 separate times. And of course, like he wanted his whole introduction, which then became a bit because I'm like, I remember he's been doing this for 30 years. He has a company called Mountain Auctioneering. Please welcome Herb the auctioneer.
Oh, and my God.
Herb was, by the way, fantastic. If you are looking for an auctioneer in the New Jersey, New York, I'm assuming Connecticut, maybe Massachusetts, he'll go to area.
Travel. Of course,
I think so. Well, I know he'll travel because of the end of this story. So basically, okay, so I get this text. I'm on the Wi-Fi. I can't call because no reception. And I'm hosting, so I can't leave.
And you know you're waiting for a call?
No, I don't. Okay. I had submitted in February, promptly forgot about it. I submitted at the behest of my manager.
Yeah.
Who's amazing. And so, you know, he's like, we should really get them a set. And like, you have to forget about those things or else like, you can't like live your life. Right? And so I really did forget about it. So anyway, so he's like, hey, can you call me when you're free? I'm like, I'm hosting this dinner. It was at the way beginning. I'm like, this is not going to be short. I can tell you that right now. And of course, like I see everybody I know. I see like this guy who we would do Seders with his family. And I'm like, oh, your kids go to this school. There's a whole table who knew my friend Joanna. There's my friend Shari who's like, oh my God, I didn't know you were hosting during the show. I mean,
Shari, what? Or can you say her last name? Yeah,
I can't. I mean, these are not people
I have
who
a Shari in New Jersey.
There are a million Sharis in New Jersey.
It was the same
I can tell you offline just because I never know who wants what with privacy or whatever. But anyway, it was like a whole, like a dinner of basically I knew everybody and it was a lot of fun. It was like a really good event, but I was like, this is going to take forever.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I can text if it's urgent. And he's like, no, can you just call me? And I was like, okay. And the night goes on. I bring up Herb 3 separate times because this comedian's running late. And then, you know, and everything is like, you have to do this right now. Like with everything, you know. So I was like, whatever, like running around being the host of this circus, basically.
Oh my God.
And then it turned out Herb lives in Livingston because, of course, we found that out, you know, from stage at some point. And then Herb's wife, Diane, is like, we can take you home. And I was like, okay. And at first I was like saying that as a bit. Because I was on stage. I'm like, yeah, so I'm going home with Herb and Diane. But then I'm getting these texts because then there were a couple more of them of, can you call me? You know, when do you think, whatever. And I was like, maybe I should take the train home from the city because I can call my manager.
Are you saying this on stage? Like my manager's desperately trying to call me?
No, I wasn't. Because I didn't say that. But I just knew it internally. And then I go over to Herb and Diane and I was like, hey, I think I'm just going to take the train. And then Diane is like, what? You're not comfortable with us driving you home? And then I'm like, no, you know what? It's fine. I'll take the ride. So anyway, all told, this evening doesn't end until like 11:30.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so it's not until then that I texted Peter and I was like, hey, I'm really sorry. I met this auctioneer. By the way, he's great. And his wife, Diane, you know, she's
comfortable.
Great too. Very comfortable car, very comfortable situation. So sorry. I'll call you tomorrow. Because I don't have, thankfully, a relationship with my manager that's unboundaried enough to be talking at 11 o'clock at night.
Did you not have a spidey sense that like
not even
something was significant if he wants to talk to you that late?
Nope. Didn't
Has he ever
a clue.
wanted to talk to you that late?
No.
any other time?
I was just like, I'm so sorry. Clearly the time has passed.
Your brain was focused on.
I just had a job and I just wasn't thinking of it. But anyway, then he calls me and I'm already at that point in bed with Karen. And I was like, it's Peter. And Karen is like, did you get the Tonight Show? And I didn't even hear her. She told me that after. But then I go in the other room and I take the call. And because of, I don't squeal.
Yeah.
I don't.
You're not a
You tell me the best news of my entire life. I'll be like, okay, thank you. That's exciting. Like that's really
the
like,
most exciting you get.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Like
wow.
I can't. Well, I think maybe that's a trauma in some way response.
Oh, good.
Hang on. It's
I
the
think you
Tonight
got the
Show.
Tonight
Show. You're calling me right now. Michael Cox? What?
Yeah. So anyway, but Karen was like, did you get the Tonight Show? And then I did. Oh, but I think the reason I don't get like that excited right away is in some way protective, whatever. But also like, I do think like I stand by it because I really at that point was like, all right, I have a lot of work to do the next 2 weeks.
Right.
Because this was May 21st. So that's the avails call. He was like, what are you doing June 5th? And it's so funny.
So he booked you just off the tape.
It's not even a tape. It's a transcript.
Wow.
Yeah, you submit a transcript. So I don't know. Obviously, I cannot speak to the
He must have seen you.
It's just the transcript.
Right. So, but they've seen me.
I know about the transcript. But
Yeah.
did you know that he was like coming to see you?
When he ever did?
Yeah,
I knew.
Oh, you knew. Okay.
Yeah. But that wasn't during the submission period.
Got you.
Yeah. So, but I think that part of my kind of more reserved response in that moment specifically, but also moments like that is I knew that I had to get to work. And basically like what would follow was like a finals period where I counted, I ran the set officially 34 times.
Amazing.
And that's not including, I work with my acting coach.
Yeah?
I always do.
Wow.
Leslie Kahn. I love Leslie Kahn.
Okay.
Leslie.
Yes, she's amazing.
What kind of stuff does she do?
Well, she's an acting coach. She's a brilliant, wonderful person.
But for stand-up?
No, I just know her as an acting coach.
I see.
And over the years that we've worked together, I'm like, can we meet? Because I have this taping. And she's like, sure, but I don't do that. And I'm like, but you do that.
Yeah.
And so, so we've done that always. And so right when I got that call, I was like, and I must send an email to coach@lesliecon.com to book a session. And I have to write to this booker, that booker to figure out where I can guest, all around town and whatever. So anyway, but the reason I was mentioning the acting coaching sessions is those weren't in the 34 times. So it was 34 times plus like anytime I ran it for Karen or the cat or, with Leslie or whatever, which are countless. But in any event, but the night before that Wednesday, May 21st call is the avails call. And so that's when Peter was like, what are you doing June 5th? And so the irony in the whole Hashem of it all, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, my belief in Hashem and in, faith generally is like a very narcissistic one, which is to say that I believe in a God who really cares about my schedule specifically. And so I was supposed to have been doing an event at the JCC in Toronto on June 5th, but then they had to move it. And I knew that like maybe a week and a half prior that they were like, oh, can we move the June 5th to August? I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And so that was that. So then I was free June 5th.
Wow.
And so what are you doing June 5th? In my head, I was like, well, I was supposed to be in Toronto, but now I'm not. So I'm here.
Hashgacha pratis.
Yeah. Wait, what's that one?
Hashgacha pratis.
Oh, Hashgacha
What does that
pratis.
mean?
Yes, of course.
Hashgacha pratis is like... It's all from God, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know what the literal translation means, but it's like basically anytime anything goes wrong, Hashgacha pratis.
Like
Hashem will, all right.
Yeah.
Hashem will like. It's like all meant from God.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that was why I was in town.
Yeah.
But it just, it was lovely that was the case. And so basically I found out that I was probably going to get it that night, because that's when your set is at standards and practices and the lawyers like go through whatever. And then the next day on my way to what turned out to be a celebratory mammogram, I found out that I booked it. And by the way,
treat yourself.
Right, exactly. But if I ever tell that, I'm going to use that line, and that is
for
all
free.
yours.
Treat
Thank
yourself.
you, Antonia. I appreciate it. It's very good. But my narcissism also extends to when I got to the mammogram, because those were the first people I was seeing in real life post knowing this crazy news. I was like, do I tell everybody at the mammogram that I just got the Tonight Show? Right. Well, I decided with no, because I and the reason I say narcissistic is I was like, I don't think that they can handle the news.
They couldn't. They would freak their shit.
They would
lose their minds.
I can't have that infiltrating their process.
Their job.
Right.
They have to take care of your of your breast.
God forbid something was wrong and they're like, maybe we shouldn't tell it. The Tonight Show. Or they miss something because they're just thinking about the Tonight Show. Meanwhile, I'm like, I don't think Cindy or Susan cares at all. They're just there to do, the mammogram or the ultrasound, because I do have dense tissue. And so I have to get both. Okay.
Dense tissue.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Yeah. So I have dense tissue. I feel like most people that I know have this.
I don't know what dense tissue is.
If you don't get mammograms yet?
Never gotten one.
You're very young. Okay. So basically you get your first mammogram and that's like your baseline. And I think all of my friends, maybe not one of them, but all but one or two maybe, have been told you have dense tissue, so we're going to need an ultrasound also. It's just more screening because you have more stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have that, and so that's why I have 2 separate appointments. Like it's 2 prescriptions.
Gotcha.
But it's not uncommon from what I understand from like my friend group and stuff. But in any event, so I didn't think either the person who's doing the regular mammogram or the person who did the ultrasound mammogram, which was I went from one to the next in the same appointment for my, big party.
Big dense tissue.
My big dense tissue for my big breasts. I'm a 36C, I think. I wear a sports bra I don't even know anymore.
Me too.
Yeah, but so that's what happened. And then I just was like super focused. It felt like finals. It literally felt like finals.
Every day.
Not in a bad way. Like I really loved it because my style on stage is very loose, very like I'm happy to go up with a premise and maybe a half a premise and just like see what happens. And I'm not always proud to say that, but it's just like it's the way that I've found I work the most reliably well is to allow myself that freedom. Because, and I feel there's a part of me when you were saying the thing about adoration, I was like, I hope you don't take that the wrong way because I mean it. Here's more particularly what I mean is a lot of people when they talk about like the moment that they fell in love with stand up, and it's so reasonable. It's like the moment that they did it and people laughed and that was so exciting to them. And I get that. Of course, I get that. That said, I don't have that. My moment was, oh my God, I can just be honest. And so I think because of that, what excites me about a gig or a group of people or doing, stand up in this context or that context is less about their feelings about me, which of course I hope are good. I'm the most insecure person you've ever met in your entire life. Okay. And moving forward too. I fully think that. That said, what excites me about the medium is how much I can dive inside of me to tell them about me. And my hope, of course, is that they feel less alone, heard, understood. They can laugh in unison. But like whenever I hear stories, and again, they're totally reasonable of like, oh my God, and they laughed and then that was the most amazing feeling and blah, blah, blah. I get it. I don't have that experience. For me, it was the experience of teaching for 7 years. And not that I was lying, but I was like, I switched code there. It, right? I had to teach property law. I wasn't like just
so
diving into the depths of my psyche. I was like making sure what I was teaching was maybe helpful for the bar exam or whatever they do in their life going forward as a real estate lawyer, if that's what they choose. And so I think that like that's where I'm coming from in terms of, liking or disliking a specific kind of community.
Well, you're just like morally kind of superior.
That's so to say.
It's just like, that's my takeaway.
Right. That's what I was worried was the takeaway, which I really don't mean it. And that's why I came back to it specifically to apologize. So that's what I mean by that.
This is amazing.
But like in the sense of, we were talking about like that period of the 2 weeks, it was, I got to those jokes that were written in that transcript from very loose explorations of self on stage that have excited me over the 12 years I've been doing this. I then knew, and that was part of the reason that Karen was like, did someone die, instead of did you get the Tonight Show? Like, she was like, well, I guess you didn't get the Tonight Show because listen, I can't hear any excitement at all.
Yeah.
Right. But I think the reason for that is because I was like, oh, okay, I have to figure out.
It's like work your ass off.
Right. Yeah. How to figure out how to get all of me into this written
But
set.
by that point, you already had the material. It was just the delivery and the performance.
Well, yeah, but that's everything.
For sure.
Right.
But it's not like you were like, oh, I have to decide how to introduce myself verbally.
Right. It was written.
Yeah.
And would you not normally stick as precisely to a script as you had to for the show? Gotcha.
Yeah.
And as someone who gets an enjoyment from comedy through like bearing your soul, which I feel very similarly, was that hard? Because it was like not that in a way. Or less of that.
I think that it was okay in this. It wouldn't have been years ago, but I think by the time I got it, people are so kind whenever they say like, this thing was overdue. I'm like, maybe by a month. Like, I really don't believe it was. Like, I'm not sitting here thinking I'm overdue for like literally anything. Anything I ever get in this business, I'm like, I can't believe that I got that. Like, I don't think about things being overdue at all. And so, but I think part of the reason that I'm so happy it came when it did was because I wouldn't have been able to like get into that mind frame or to have written myself a set that allowed me to showcase so much of my soul. And so like, and I encourage people to watch it because whatever, like,
because it's hilarious and amazing and about
it.
you. Yeah,
I do appreciate it.
And it's Jewish and queer, and that's you. So you'd be dumb if you don't watch it.
Yeah. And like, I whatever. Like, you can. The set is good. I am very proud of the set. And the thing that I like the most about what I gave to myself in the set was I'm not cool. I am not trying to be cool. I never will be cool. I've never and that's also from 9th grade.
I was gonna say,
I wanted to be cool so bad.
How
in
to
9th grade,
flirt.
Failed so miserably. Like, wasn't even on the radar of even being a nerd. Let alone not being cool. Like, cool was not in the picture. But and the end of the high school arc is like, then I ran for student government. And won.
Yes.
Which
and you flirted with everybody to win, and it worked.
Sure did.
Wow.
Yeah, and also, it's such a lovely and Jewish story, but my very, very close friend, I always hesitate to say best friend because it's like, there are a lot, like, we are in a group of 7 women. I was going to say girls because I say girls, but 7 girls, and we went to elementary school, high school, and college together. Not all of us, but like Shira and I went to elementary school, high school, and college, as though we were like in a television series that needed more seasons, and like we just must go to school together because like we need the college years. But anyway, so Shira Ackerman, who is my very, very dear friend. I also don't like to say my oldest friend because she's like, don't introduce me that way because it sounds like I'm going to be trailing you with a walker. But anyway, so we've known each other since 1986. We met on the first day of first grade, whatever.
Wow.
And but she was up until 3 a.m. with me the night before my speech to win senior vice president of high school, right? And then cut to me prepping for the Tonight Show. I needed to cut stuff because you have to get it to time.
Yeah.
And I needed it to be 5 minutes in a club. And she was the person who edited the set. Yeah, of course she is. And of course, she's amazing. She's an amazing writer and whatever, just a person. But yeah, like, I think that I'm not cool. And so there's a moment, like, my first joke in the set, the setup of the joke is, thank you, I'm so excited to be here, which is like a thing that I would say
every comic
99% of people say when they first arrive on a show like that. But I don't, normally I don't think it has anything to do with whatever is said next. And that's fine. But like, for me, it was like taking in the moment that, like, there's a first moment where it's like, I said, I'm so excited to be here. And I doubled down on it because it's the setup to a joke. But because I doubled down on it, because I wrote that for myself, I was really able to take in that moment of the crowd being so excited and then to turn it for the joke. But I think that I'm proud of myself for writing myself a set that allowed me to have that kind of a moment. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so, yes, it would have been hard to practice that before I got it.
Right.
Because I actually needed every person to introduce me as she's practicing her
For
Tonight Show set, because there's a line in the set about it being the Tonight Show.
Right.
And I wanted to write a set that was self-referential in that way, because I think like, you know, I was saying before, like I don't necessarily think of myself as the best joke writer or whatever, but I think of myself as very adept at being in the moment that I am and connecting with the people in that specific context. And so to write myself a set that was like speaking to the bigness of this moment required people to introduce me as practicing it for that moment. But yeah, that's also why I was like, well, I got to get to work.
How did it change over the 2 weeks?
So Ariel Elias, who's been on this pod, who
I opened for.
Yes. Oh, yes, of course. And then I watched that episode when you were in the hotel room bed.
Yes, in the bed together.
The bed. You're both wonderful.
Shout out
She's
Ariel.
amazing.
I love her.
Yeah, Ariel's fantastic. Has been for many, many years, as you know, if you don't know. And I love her and have for all of those years. So I was doing a guest set at Gotham, and she went up before me, and I had told her then, this was like, I don't know, maybe a week out from the actual taping, that I needed to cut a chunk. And she gave me a really great note of where to cut. And so that was like hugely, hugely helpful, which I've told her. And like, of course, like she's a brilliant writer. She's a brilliant comedian. She gave me this great note. And that hugely helped, because I think it was like a totally wonderful chop.
Yeah.
And then it was about, you know, the part of the haircut where it's like the pruning, right? Where they go with the jagged edge scissor, and they, you know, so there was a little bit of that too.
Wow.
Yeah.
And did nobody else like recommend that part? Like she just knew?
Not exactly prior to then.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Yeah. But I mean,
and she's been on the Tonight. Oh, was she on the Tonight?
She was
show?
on Colbert. And Kimmel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm, you know, I mean,
she's the same.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
What a great person, great career. Follow Ariel Elias. And what do you call it? But I was like really testing like a different thing each night. And I think that night I was like, I think I have to make like a major chop, because I'm noticing that it's running like a minute over, and I can't have that. And so whatever. And so that's the thing that like, yes, you submit a transcript, and the transcript, you were able to take away stuff, because standards and practices and the lawyers, like they approve, and I didn't have any notes. So like I had all to work with, but then it was a question of like, okay, but what actually fits in 5 minutes?
Got it.
And it was just a little bit over.
And they don't give you notes on what they want you to cut or keep.
They could, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, meaning like that is within their process. And I think in some instances they tell people this won't work, or, you know, I don't know. That's the Tonight Show. So I don't know. But anyway, so yeah. So that was the process.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have your Yenta?
What's
do you have
my
a gossip?
Yenta? Oh, am I supposed to bring gossip?
No.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
If you have anything.
Okay. What do I
guess you did give us good gossip just about the whole process in general. But if you had any gossip that you wanted to share.
Oh, okay.
For the Yenta pod.
I'm so sorry that I didn't remember that was a part of the homework.
And I should have reminded you. It's really not.
It's okay. Yeah. What is it? Oh, okay. I don't even know. I'm really drawing a blank.
What about
the Barry's in Hollywood has really let itself go?
Tell us.
Okay.
Tell us everything. So good.
Here's the thing. I work out at Barry's so if I go on a trip, okay, to a place that I know reasonably well, and there are probably 3 that fall within this category. Here where I've lived, Chicago where I've lived, and also Philadelphia where I've lived. If I'm there for a little bit of time, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I want to reignite a part of my life and myself that like works better for me, and outside of my regular home context, I'm more likely to do it. And so in this context, I'm in LA for like basically a week. I was like, I will buy a 5-pack to Barry's, and I enjoy going. I'm staying in Hollywood.
Become a gym bro.
Yeah, right. Sure. Exactly.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes. And so I go from time to time, but like I go in phases, right?
Yes.
And so anyway, but I knew I was staying in Hollywood, And so I was like, great, I'll go to the Barry's in Hollywood. And I did yesterday. The day before, I knew based on my logistics, and I love nothing more than like figuring out the Tetris of logistics.
I see that.
I'm a bus girl when I'm in LA. Yeah. I take the bus.
Did you take the bus here?
So actually, my friend drove me because I had taken the bus to her. We got a massage, then we had lunch, and then she drove me here.
What an amazing
So
life.
that worked. But anyway, so Monday I was meeting someone for breakfast at Nate and Al's in Beverly Hills. And then he gave me a ride to the West Hollywood Barry's. Now, the West Hollywood Barry's used to be the original Barry's and was not that nice.
But now
they got a new facility on Santa Monica. It's gorgeous.
I've only seen the outside, but listener, the outside
nice.
to die for.
Die for. And there's always like a really hot person standing in front, sort of staring, like profiling people on the street, being like, sure, you're not coming in here.
A bouncer for the gym. Yeah, and I would say, I was texting my friend Hilberto, who I have a podcast with. Together We're Straight. I love Hilberto. We love Hilberto. But he was like, oh, the gay Barry's, which it is. But I was like, yeah, but like amazing locker room for me because I go to the women's locker room.
And it's
I was on full FaceTime
naked
from the shower because there was no one there.
That's pretty nice.
It was amazing. And
I only know Barry's as a gay gym.
Right.
It's just the truth.
No,
I didn't even know straight people go there.
It's funny to me that one of them's called the Gay Barry's.
Well, it's just in West Hollywood.
Because I get it.
But anyway, it's very nice. I totally recommend the West Hollywood one. But I used to live in Hollywood when I lived here.
Oh.
And so I would go to the Barry's in Hollywood because it was near my apartment at the time. And that was the nice Barry's. And now I went yesterday because it's near where I'm staying. It's not nice.
What's going on?
I mean, okay, like the showers, there was like not enough face soap. And I went into a different shower because I saw that one didn't have face soap and then the other one didn't have face soap, but it was just less obvious that it didn't have face soap.
Oh my God.
Okay, it's just like people aren't cleaning it as much. And the thing is, like, do I sound entitled? Sure. But also, you were great, that Barry's.
Wow.
And now you're not. And so that's my Yenta.
Wow.
That's good.
Yeah.
But
it's
truth
not
to
even
power.
Against Barry's.
No, just
go
Barry's
to
Hollywood.
the one in West Hollywood.
Yes.
Go to that one. It's nice.
I'll go.
Yeah, I'll go with you.
Yeah.
Okay?
I'm terrified, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Because only hot people, you have to be so
I know.
hot to go in there.
Okay,
I don't belong there.
I don't have an ego about the gym.
Yeah.
And so I don't care if I'm the worst at it.
Yeah.
Like, it's like we're going 7, 8, 9s or 8, 9, 10s of like the speed on the treadmill. And I'm like, I will be walking at a 3.8.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care. Because I'm not, it's like, I'm here. For me,
yes.
The fact that I literally even got here is such an accomplishment.
Huge.
I don't care beyond that at all.
I have been doing a personal training to prepare for my wedding.
Oh, yeah.
This is Yenta.
Okay.
And the trainer,
who
I love.
Yeah.
I love her so much if she listens to this.
Yeah.
She's been sending us Shrock memes.
Okay.
What's that?
It's guess.
Shredded.
Oh, Shredded the Rock?
The Rock?
Shrek.
And the Rock?
Cock.
Oh.
It's just it's AI of Shrek if he had a huge cock.
And this is the relationship you have with the trainer.
And I love her. I love it so much.
Okay.
It's so unhinged.
Are you going to hook up with this trainer?
I think she's trying to.
Sure.
I think she's trying
this
to
is
make
her move.
something.
She's sending you dick pics.
Oh, yeah. That's literally.
Yeah.
It's like the most nerdy version of a dick pic.
Wow.
AI Shrek.
Okay. I do want to see it now.
I'll show you.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, I really want to see this.
Yeah.
Oh my God. She's going to be so happy when I tell her.
I wonder how big it's going to be. How big do you think it's going to be?
I mean, to the floor. That's what I'm envisioning. I'm envisioning like Snuffleupagus' trunk.
Do you think, I wonder, is it going to be able to stand up if it's so big? I know this is AI, but
in AI,
anything is possible.
Right. I'm picturing flaccid.
I'm picturing sort of as long as my arm.
Wow. Okay.
Flaccid?
But you're picturing flaccid.
I was picturing like an elephant trunk. Oh.
It's like a real like below.
So much smaller than I was expecting.
But it's a listener. It's like a below the.
Right.
I guess. You know, like when you're trying.
I love the shot.
Yeah,
it's actually
nice.
It's kind of like he's doing like a selfie, like under.
Pretty tasteful.
It's very good. It's glamorous.
It looks like it's a strap on. Like
it's
it could be
French.
A strap.
Right.
Very
Wow.
French.
Okay.
Elegante.
Are there more?
Oh yeah, and then this one of Sully from Monsters Inc.
Okay.
But like.
But he doesn't.
But kind of
porn?
like big titty.
Wait, let me see.
Got it.
But no dick.
Right.
No
that's
dick.
what I thought.
No. We're.
Look,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
promise us.
I'm
Right.
sorry. This one
You
is
promised
more.
us dick.
This one is for
I'm gonna say
children.
the Shrek dick is so much smaller than I was
So
expecting.
much greener than I would have thought.
I feel like it's the perfect amount of green.
Variation in the color.
I
Right.
see.
Yeah.
I see. Not so many veins on that one.
Right. Well,
and just sort of
that were visible.
that were
That's a good
visible.
point.
Oh, my dad's here. The light went on.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't like that we're talking about penises on the pod.
It's like
He's like, Elizabeth.
clean it up, folks.
Wrap it up. Do you have a Yenta?
Do we have time for a Yenta?
Yeah, a quick one.
Nah.
No.
Do you have a Yenta?
Well, that was my Yenta.
Yeah, that was the
Oh wait, no,
Yenta.
I have a
Oh, I
question.
see.
Another question for you,
Okay.
Liz.
Yeah.
Rank your favorite Jewish comedians besides us.
Okay.
And
We know we're at the top.
yeah, we know we're
Sure.
obviously at the top.
I don't have any that are like, this one over that one over the other, but I'm just gonna, I know who I love. I mean, I love Judy Gold. I love
Yeah.
Robbie Hoffman. I love Lisa Traeger. I love Joan Rivers,
Yeah.
of course. Mike Kaplan, Alex Edelman, who else? I mean, Alon Altman. I love Stone and Stone, Ariel Elias, Ari Finling and Noah Finling.
I don't know them.
Yeah, me
they're
either.
great. You must. Yeah. There are a lot. Yeah.
Oh, I literally
Great
have
list.
him in my Google. I do know him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So those are who come to mind, and they're all truly wonderful.
That's
Oh,
amazing.
I know who that is.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one more Yenta because
Yes,
you
of
mentioned
course.
Alex Edelman.
Yes.
Which is that on the last episode,
Yeah.
I told everybody that I'm looking for a rabbi
Okay.
for the wedding, but
Oh.
it needs to be a Jewish,
Yeah.
queer adjacent, Orthodox adjacent,
Orthodox
Sephardi,
adjacent. Sephardic. Okay.
Ashkenazi
Okay.
rabbi.
Okay.
Impossible to find.
Sure.
And I posted this clip about it, and we had like so many people, like Jews, just they want to get involved.
Sure.
They want to be helpful.
Right.
And they were, and
Yeah.
they were so helpful. And
Okay.
you know who was the most helpful? Alex Edelman.
Oh, great.
Who recommended this rabbi?
Perfect.
Who is pretty great.
That's
Are you
awesome.
going with him?
I don't want to like reveal it yet.
Yeah,
You're still interviewing.
Sure.
Auditioning.
We're
Yeah.
still in the yes.
But that's great.
No reveals,
Wonderful.
but it's
And
looking
Mazel
good.
Tov again. Mazel Tov
Thank
again.
you.
Only
Thank you. Very
simchas.
excited. Amen.
Truly.
Amen.
Yeah. Yes.
Amen.
Well, I was going to say, do you have a question for the Jewish internet? Because
They love to
they
give their opinions.
love to share opinions, advice, anything you need.
Sure. I mean, what's your favorite, like, best food kosher restaurant?
Oh.
I just, and the thing is,
Anywhere
like,
in the world?
yeah, totally.
Oh.
Because that's something, especially now that, like, there's a lot of anti-Semitism. Like, I am not kosher, but I feel strongly, like, whenever I have the opportunity to, like, patronize a restaurant, that I want to patronize a kosher restaurant if I can. And I love good food. And so I want to know everybody's favorite kosher restaurant everywhere.
That's a good one.
Because I would love to go to all of them.
And you travel a lot, so
Yeah. And you're on
So,
tour.
listeners,
that's all.
Does it need to be like Orthodox kosher, like kosher style, like a deli?
I mean, I'm open to it because my rule following is not strict such that I wouldn't go. But I'm curious, yes, Jewish restaurants.
style.
is specifically what I desire to know.
Amazing. I cannot wait for the comments in that one.
Yeah.
And focus on LA because that's where
Oh, sure,
we
yeah.
live.
well, that's what we want to know.
That's what we want to know.
Right, and then we can all have dinner.
Yes. Oh, I would love that. Okay. Well, thanks so much for coming on, Liz.
Thank you so much for having me.
Freaking amazing.
Yeah,
truly.
You're great. And we're so happy for you.
And I am so happy for you.
For what?
Well, I mean, for the podcast, for Jewish gigs, for whatever beautiful experiences are to come. That's what I meant.
Well said.
Thank you.
Well, no, thank you so much for being on the pod.
Thank you.
Everyone go check out her special.
Yeah.
And
do you know who I'm not on YouTube?
Yes.
There you go.
And Liz Glazer on Instagram and and all of that.
Everything.
And listeners, if you're here, you love us. So go to our Patreon, patreon.com/Yenta. It's so good. It's so juicy. There's all the goss. Sure. We have the matchmaking going on there right now. If you've gotten to the end of this episode and you don't know about the matchmaking situation, if you're a single Jew of any kind, or you're poly and you're looking for more partners.
Only Yenta series matchmaking.
Okay.
Huge hit.
That's great.
Lots of submissions. If you know anybody, if you want to play matchmaking.
If you older people?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. Of course.
Okay.
No limits.
Okay, I'm going to get my mom in on it.
Yeah. Great. Your mom. How old is she?
77.
Amazing. Listeners, if you're 70s, if you know older people, submit them.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that would be so epic.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. I love you.
Love you. Thanks for being here.
I love
Liz.
you too.
I love you.
Bye.